Are Mojtaba Khamenei, Xi Jinping, and Vladimir Putin turning Donald Trump into a geopolitical laughingstock in Hormuz? Iran announces special treatment and favorable transit conditions for Russia and China through the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran signals preferential maritime access for Chinese and Russian-linked shipping as it reshapes traffic through the strategic choke point. Trump's pressure campaign appears to face setbacks as Iran expands alternative trade routes and energy networks beyond Western control. Growing regional tensions fuel speculation that even long-standing U.S. Arab partners may increasingly engage Tehran through pragmatic diplomacy and transit arrangements. Iran has said its strategic partners, China and Russia, will continue to receive special treatment in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian MP Ibrahim Azizi stated that both countries would enjoy favorable conditions for maritime transit, according to reports. The remarks come after Iran announced plans to impose tolls on ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz, a move strongly opposed by the United States. The announcement also came as Washington continued its economic pressure campaign aimed at restricting Iran's oil exports and wider energy trade. On May 28, visuals emerged showing Iran exporting oil and LPG to China and Pakistan through expanding rail connections. Footage shared by RT showed long lines of tanker wagons moving through the night along the transport corridor. Iranian media claimed rail traffic to China has tripled nearly 50 days into the ongoing U.S. blockade campaign. The rail route offers Tehran an alternative export channel beyond maritime routes that remain exposed to regional tensions. Meanwhile, Washington announced a fresh round of sanctions targeting Iran's oil shipping and transport network. U.S. officials said the measures are designed to cut revenue flows linked to the IRGC and allied groups. Tommy Pigott said, and I quote, "The U.S. is targeting the Iranian regime's dark fleet and illicit oil networks under economic fury. Today's sanctions cut off billions in revenue that funds the IRGC, proxy forces, and attacks on our partners. Any entity trading Iranian oil faces serious risk of U.S. sanctions." Unquote. Despite those pressures, Chinese vessels have continued to gradually exit the Strait of Hormuz without major disruptions. Lloyd's List reported that more than 10 Chinese ships previously stranded in the Persian Gulf have now departed. Chinese-owned Aframax crude tanker Hualin Wan was among the vessels reported to have cleared the strait. The tanker is operated by COSCO, one of China's largest state-owned shipping and logistics companies. COSCO President Lin Ji said the safety of crews and vessels remains the company's highest operational priority. The developments suggest Beijing is pursuing both maritime and land-based energy corridors as regional risks persist. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi held a phone call with his Omani counterpart, Badr al-Busaidi, on May 29, underscoring ongoing diplomatic coordination between Tehran and Muscat. Araghchi later said he had a productive discussion with al-Busaidi, indicating that the two sides exchanged views on regional developments and bilateral cooperation. During the conversation, the Iranian foreign minister expressed Iran's solidarity with Oman, stressing Tehran's support for Muscat in the face of any threats to the country's security. His remarks came shortly after Donald Trump made threatening comments toward Oman, framing Iran's message as a direct response and a signal of political backing for its Gulf neighbor.
Iran wants control of the Strait of Hormuz. Would you accept a short-term deal that allows Iran and Oman to control the strait? And would they have to open it immediately, or would you be open to that happening over a period of time?
No, the strait's going to be open to everybody.
And who would control it?
It's international waters. Nobody's going to control it. We're going to watch over it. We'll watch over it, but nobody's going to control it. That's part of the negotiation that we have. They would like to control it. Nobody's going to control it. It's international waters, and Oman will behave just like everybody else, so we'll have to blow them up. They understand that. They'll be fine.
Mr. President, thank you. How much economic pressure do you feel to get the Strait of Hormuz open?
Well, you have to understand, the United States has so much oil that we are an exporter of oil. So we have plenty of oil. We're very lucky. We're blessed with the greatest piece of land in the world from that standpoint, and we have more than anybody else. And now when you add Venezuela to it, we have, I think, 64% of the world's oil. And we're getting along very well with Venezuela, by the way. It's being run really beautifully. The big companies are moving in. It's going to be amazing because it's also, like us, they're very blessed in that sense. But we have natural energy that no other country has. We have more than anybody else. So it's really a world problem because most of the world doesn't have that. And we're making it available. During the closing, I don't know if you've seen some of the satellite pictures, boats, hundreds of boats lined up. It looks like, I used to say, the Long Island Expressway with the cars. They're lined up and they're coming to Texas, Louisiana, they're coming to Alaska to fill up their boat, their big boat. Some of them are really big, 2 billion gallons. Even bigger than that now they make them. They make them up to 4, Chris, I hear. Now they make them up to 4. The 4 are now the big ones. Used to be the ones. Now it's 4 million barrels of, think of that, 4 million barrels of oil in one boat. But they're lined up and they're right now heading to Texas, and they've already filled up and they've gone back. In addition to that, you have a lot of boats, you have about 1,500 boats in the Strait wanting to get out, and at the right time we'll release them.
Trump's recent threat to blow up Oman has stunned observers in Washington, because it targeted one of America's oldest and closest Arab partners at a moment of high tension. America's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent issued another warning to Oman after President Trump said the nation should behave or we'll have to blow them up. Scott Bessent said, and I quote, "The United States government will not tolerate any effort to impose a tolling system in the Strait of Hormuz. Oman, in particular, should know that the U.S. Treasury will aggressively target any actors involved, directly or indirectly, in facilitating tolls for the strait, and any willing partners will be penalized. All nations should reject outright any efforts by Iran to disrupt the free flow of commerce. Tehran's days of terrorizing the region and the world are over."
President Trump said, Oman will behave just like everybody else, or we will have to blow them up. Are you guys back there in the West Wing making plans for a new war with Oman?
Again, I think the president wanted to punctuate freedom of navigation in the Strait. I had a call with the Omani ambassador this morning, and he assured me that there were no plans for tolling the Strait. As he said, our countries have had 200 years of good relations. He wants to have another 200 more. And I told him that this was a non-starter, and he did not want to risk either the Omani individuals or Omani financial institutions getting sanctioned.
His remark was directed at a country that has long been central to U.S. strategy in the Gulf, making the threat particularly jarring in diplomatic circles. Oman was the first Gulf Arab state to formalize relations with the United States back in 1833, anchoring nearly 2 centuries of ties. Muscat has also played a crucial role for decades as a quiet go-between in U.S.-Iran back-channel diplomacy, often hosting sensitive conversations. For roughly 15 years, Oman has helped arrange and negotiate prisoner releases between Tehran and Washington, building trust with both sides. It has also hosted back-channel talks between American and Iranian officials for more than a decade, acting as a discreet venue for de-escalation. After the 1979 Iranian Revolution, Oman signed a military agreement with the U.S., even as many regional dynamics shifted. That 1980 deal gave U.S. forces access to Omani military facilities, deepening security cooperation and basing options in the Gulf. Because of its neutral mediation-focused approach, Oman earned the nickname the Switzerland of the Middle East. Muscat has maintained an independent foreign policy shaped by its geography and long maritime history, often avoiding bloc politics. Strategically, Oman is a key regional player because it controls part of the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical oil and gas routes. Its position on the Arabian Sea and at the mouth of Hormuz helped make Oman a historic regional power and a vital transit hub. For decades, Oman has maintained cordial yet cautious relations with Iran, balancing engagement with its own security concerns. Unlike several other Gulf states that prioritized large-scale business with Iran, Oman focused more on diplomacy and mediation, experts note. Omani Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi recently said talks with Iran had made progress, signaling that diplomacy was still moving forward. He even claimed that a U.S.-Iran agreement was within reach shortly before the attacks of February 28 derailed the process. Since the U.S. and Israel began striking Iranian targets, Oman has emerged as one of the region's sharpest critics of the war. Despite war-related strikes hitting its own territory, Muscat has continued to push for diplomatic solutions rather than escalation. Iranian officials say Tehran is now discussing a new Hormuz framework with Muscat, underscoring Oman's central role in any future security architecture. Against this backdrop, Trump's on May 27 threatened to blow up Oman over its role in the negotiation process.